Hey guys, it's Matt and Deb again. Next video is about posture and running. So we're not going to talk so much about your posture during running, but we're going to talk about posture outside of your running world, but how it might affect you while you're running. So we're going to take a look at Tom Hooper. Tom has taken a sit-down job, sits a lot of time at a desk, so we're going to take a look at his posture, take a look at his work environment, and see what we might come up with for an assessment.
All right.
So here's Tom, coming up. All right, so there's Tom sitting at his desk. So I know he doesn't really have a computer in front of him, but we're pretending that he does. But most importantly, it's his posture. And he's at a laptop, which a lot of people work at these days instead of a desktop. So the screen is pretty darn close to the keyboard. So in order for him to see the keyboard, you can see what his posture is doing here. He's got some rounded shoulders coming up, and then a forward head position. So that's the key right there. So when we take a look at Tom running, we see a similar posturing. We see rounded shoulders, we see forward head. Oh, I also want to comment that one of the reason we're doing this is that Tom, after he started sitting down at his job, started noticing that he was having upper trapezius pain, kind of this region right in here between your neck and your shoulder, while he was running. That's the reason we're even looking at this. So here's a little posture with some diagrammatics. So here's your normal posture. This is where really your hip, your shoulder, and your ear should be in alignment. And we can see with Tom's head that it's quite a bit more forward. So that ear is much more forward of the shoulder. And even the shoulder, it's hard to draw a straight line between a shoulder and a hip, but the shoulder is actually more forward than we would like it to be as well. So here's Tom in a doorway. So this is having to stand up and have upright posture. Realistically, what someone should be able to do is have the back of their head touching the door jamb. And again, we want to see hip, shoulder, and ear alignment. So we can see Tom's shoulders here are rounded, and we can see that his ear is definitely ahead of his shoulder and hip. So this is pretty comfortable for Tom in this position. And then what happens here, Maddie, when we try to get him into this position?
Well, when you ask him to bring his head back towards the doorway, he struggles to do that. So that's a challenge for Tom because his normal currently is to be more forward head position. So a lot of stress happens right here in his neck. And you notice too that his shoulder is still pointed pretty far forward. So with tight muscles, say on the front side of your body, what it does is it prevents you from being able to attain as upright posture. So it makes it harder for you to have more of an ideal posture. So in terms of going about treating that, what we encourage people to do is start to work on stretching out those front muscles, so chest side, bicep side muscles, by maybe lying down on their back along a roll, working on getting the back of their head to touch the roll as well, and by trying to decrease some of the space between the back of the neck and, say, the roll, or the floor in this case. Not that that should be able to touch it, but it should be easier to get it to come down a little bit lower than what it is right there. So some of the take home from that would be to think about what your workouts are addressing. If you have strengthening workouts that are going to be addressing a lot of, say, bicep strength, chest strength, and you're not addressing muscles on the back side, your postural muscles, the muscles between your shoulder blades, it can lead to a tendency to be tighter in the front, more of a forward head over your body, which is abnormal stress and otherwise normal body parts, and might lead to some pain similar to what Tom had, and or represent differently in different people. So I guess the take home, Deb, would be aware of posture at the workplace,
Yep.
during recreation, as well as what are your focus groups during your strengthening workouts.
Absolutely, and let's just go back to look for right there. So this might be where it all starts. If you spend 6, 7, 8 hours a day sitting, this is going to contribute a lot to how your posture is the rest of the day.
That's right. Thanks
All
for
right.
stopping by.
Bye.